Okay, so I thought we should talk about the XOY plane. So this is a 2024 external mathematics paper 2, and the first question there is write the coordinates of A, B, and C. So now, when naming coordinates, you always want to start with X. So the coordinates are named in alphabetical order, X, Y. So you should always have X and then Y and then brackets like this. So let's start with the first one. So this one is made up of some number here and then another number there. So now which one do you start with? This is the x-axis. So along the x-axis we have a 2. So you can say 2, then you put a comma. Remember, the alphabetical order suggests that X comes first and then Y. So you have 2, comma, and then you can check the Y coordinate or the number on the Y axis. So that number is a 6 there. So for the point A, the coordinates are 2, 6. And then we can do the same thing on B. This is B. So for B, on the x-axis, as usual, you start with X. On the x-axis, we have a 1, and then comma, you check the number on the B-axis. This is a 2, so you have 1, 2. And then for C, as usual, I know this one looks a bit different, but it's just the same thing. So you check on the x-axis first. So the number on the x-axis here is a 3, actually a 5. So you can write 5, comma, and then when you move to the y-axis, you can see that the number on the y-axis is a 0. So this is 5, 0. So now this is the general way of figuring out points which are on the two axes. So when you have a point, let's say you have a point here, just check on the x-axis there. The x-axis, you can see that the number there is a 6, right? So on the part of the y-axis, just put a 0 as long as you are on the x-axis. And then when you are on the y-axis like this, as you can see, y is a 4 there, and then x is down there. For y, you normally go in this or this direction. You want to go in the horizontal direction. So in this case, our y is a 4, so you can write this. Remember, you always start with an x. So if you have your y, make sure you put it this side. And then since you don't know what your x is, just go down there and write a 0. So as long as the point is along the y-axis, x will always be 0. And then as long as the point is on the x-axis, y will always be 0, like in this case. Okay, let's check the next one. The next one is saying, on the same diagram, draw the graph of the line y is equal to 3. So now, you have a y which is equal to 3 here, right? So, the fact that you have a y here and no x anywhere else means that you are only dealing with the y-axis, this one, the vertical axis. Yes, so you can find a 3 on the y-axis and draw a line there. This line must be horizontal. Make sure you have your pencil and your ruler. You don't want to use freehand drawing here. So this is where my 3 on the y-axis is, right? So I can just draw that line like this. And make sure that when you draw it, immediately after drawing it, you name it. This is y is equal to 3. So the requirement here was to just draw this. You don't have to shade anything, and because this is an equal sign, the line has to be a solid line. Yes. Okay, let's try out another one. Maybe before we try out another one, let's say you were required to draw another line here. Let's say the line is x is greater than or equal to 2. So to draw this line, as you can see, we have an equal sign there. It's greater than or equal to 2. So that means your line has to be solid. Every time you have this symbol there, the equal to sign, whether it's like this or like this or like this, then you always have to make your line solid. You only draw a broken line when you have something like strictly less or greater than or strictly less than. Then your line will be like so. Only for this case. Okay. So now let's find a 2 on the x-axis, because this one is saying x is greater than or equal to 2. So because there is no y, we are only dealing with the x-axis. You can go to x is equal to 2, which is right there, and then I'm going to draw a nice and straight solid line there. Yes, like that. And then since it is saying x is greater than 2, what you do here is you shade all the numbers where x is greater than 2, or maybe all the numbers which are greater than 2. As you can see, on the x-axis, the numbers are increasing as you are moving towards the right hand side, right? In case you are dubious, you are not sure, you can always refer to this arrow there. This arrow points in the direction in which numbers are increasing. So you can do a simple shading like this. Please, you don't need to do some funny things or some artistic shadings. It's in mathematics, we only make simple lines like that. Okay, let me make a separate video on drawing graphs of the form this, where you have an x and a y.